We now interrupt your regularly scheduled program.
I am the chefadent of the United States.
America, the chefadent is now going into beast mode.
Let's go, chef. Y'all, I had to wait for the sun to go down to cook this meal. And I'm still sweating. I was in the grocery store today buying my ingredients. And I heard this older woman say, I'm gonna just make a salad because it's too hot to be cooking. Me and my husband just gonna eat a salad tonight. That's when I knew it was too hot to be cooking. Because when Big Mama talking about she ain't cooking, whew, it's gotta be hot, y'all. It's gotta be hot.
How hot is it? Too hot for mama to use the stove.
And anytime an old school woman say, it's too hot to cook, me and my husband gonna eat a salad, whew, that's when you know it's a different type of heat. I'm telling you. Because those old school women are known for whipping up a meal and cooking for their husbands and their kids. Ain't no McDonald's, ain't no type of fast food or none of that. They cooking. So I brought this one to y'all in the heat. I brought y'all a hot one in the heat. A hot potato in the heat. Even Big Mama said it was too hot to cook. Let's go, chef.
TA Food Entertainment in the building.
Sing along. Hit it.
It's the Carolina Cook, the Carolina Cook, and the Carolinas, rock and roll to the roll, the rock. Say I'm cooking in the kitchen and just don't stop. Rock and roll to the roll, the rock. Say I'm cooking in the kitchen, just don't stop. Cooking is my specialty. Getting dirty in the kitchen like ODB.
Let's
Turning
go,
these
chef.
groceries into delicacies. The Carolina Cook got the recipes. What's up, everybody? Chef Anthony Albritton here, the Carolina Cook. Cooking, tasting, and eating the Carolinas to a food entertainment in the building. Let's go, chef. I got another African-inspired dish for y'all. You know, with African food, you mostly think of fufu, rice balls, or something like that. But I decided to do something different and serve this up on a baked potato. So in this episode, I will be cooking up some
A cheesy baked potato topped with some African fish stew. Southern playalistic cooking. Once you get on it, you can't get off it.
Get your crushed tomatoes, get your garlic powder, get your Majji, get your vegetable oil, get your ginger, get your salt, get your baking potatoes, get your smoked paprika, get your onion powder, get your white pepper, get your chopped onions, get your shrimp powder, get your habanero, get your thyme, get your rosemary,
Get your scallions.
get your garlic. This you can't get. Chef Anthony Albritton Seafood Seasoning.
And get your fish. Any fish that will be durable enough to withstand the cooking process. I'm using cod.
And get your cheese blend. I will be using mac and cheese blend. That's a blend of New York sharp cheddar and pasteurized processed American and Swiss cheeses. Pasteurized. That means they go to church. And get your black pepper.
And come with me.
And take a trip inside of my mind and see how I did it. Let's go, chef.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and start preparing my ingredients for my green sauce. So I'm going to start by peeling my garlic cloves. Then I'm going to gather up my scallions, my thyme, and my rosemary. Then I'm going to add them to the blender. And I'm going to put a couple squirts of ginger paste in there. You can use peeled ginger root. But anytime that I use ginger in a recipe, I would prefer to use the paste. All right. Now we're just gonna hit it with a couple drops of water. You know, not necessarily drops, but you know what I mean. Pour a little water in there. Then, that'll help get that blender nice and lubricated so that we can start to blend on the green sauce. And this green sauce will be used to marinate my fish as well as put it into the sauce itself. All right. If you taste this sauce right now, just be mindful that it's not supposed to taste good on its own. It's to add flavor to the stew and add flavor to the fish. It'll all come together later. All right, I'm gonna add all of my seasonings to the mortar: the shrimp powder, the Chef Albrit seafood seasoning, the white pepper, the garlic powder, the onion powder, salt, and smoked paprika. I'm adding everything to the mortar except the black pepper. All right? I'm not seasoning this with the black pepper. Everything but the black pepper. All right? I'm going to add this to the mortar. Then I'm going to take my pencil and grind this seasoning to a finer consistency, a fine powder. All right? I got this tip from an African when he was giving me a tip on how he fries a good fish. All right. He says you have to grind that seasoning to a fine powder so that it doesn't burn when you fry your fish. So I'm going to apply that tip here and grind my seasonings. All right. If you don't have a mortar and a pencil, that's fine. Just do your thing. Besides, I always wanted one of these. So now is my excuse to use it, or my reason to use it. All right. I have 3 pieces of cod here that I've rub down with cooking oil. That cooking oil is going to help the seasoning stick to the fish and prevent the fish from sticking to the pan. Now I'm just going to add this seasoning mix or dry rub to both sides of my fish. Then I'm just going to rub it throughout the fish. Coat the fish with the seasoning. All right, let me run that back to say this. You're not going to use all of the seasoning. Reserve some of the seasoning for the stew. All right, now we're about to make this fish angry so it can turn green. All right. Then it's going to take that anger out on your taste buds. This is going to be some mean tasting fish. All right. I'm going to take the green sauce, a portion of the green sauce, not all of it. Put it on the fish, rub it throughout the fish so that it could soak into the fibers of the fish's being. Then we're going to reserve a portion of the sauce for the actual stew. So part of the fish gets the sauce and the rest of it goes into the stew. All right, now I'm going to pretty much blacken my fish. All right. This is not really a time thing here. It's an observation thing. So you just let the fish go until you reach your desired level of blackness or crisp on each side. All right. It's just like putting a good sear on a steak. You just want to let it go undisturbed for a couple minutes, then peep up under there. And if it's right, then you go ahead and flip it. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, once your level of blackened or crisp has been reached, you want to just remove the fish from the pan and reserve it for the sauce. All right. Now, as for me, I'm going to put my fish on a rack and let it drain. Let the excess oil drain from the fish. Now, with that same oil that I seared my fish in, you're going to go ahead and add some chopped onions. You're going to saute those onions until they're nice and tender, translucent, and have reduced in volume. Then I'm going to add some canned, crushed tomatoes. Now, normally I would use 2 blenders, one to blend the tomatoes, one to blend the green sauce. But I found it a lot easier to just buy a can of crushed tomatoes. All right. Saves you trouble, saves you money. All right. A can of crushed tomatoes is much cheaper than buying tomatoes. All right. Now, I'm just going to fry this tomato sauce or crushed tomato into the onion mixture. Just let it fry. That frying process is going to remove that tomatoey taste. Now, remember that green sauce I told y'all to put on reserve? All right, we're going to put it in the game now, man. We're going to put it in the game. So we're going to add that to the tomato stew. All right. Now, this is when it's going to start forming its taste, its flavor, as it combines with the stew. All right. And remember those seasonings that I told you to reserve, that we put on the fish. This is why you reserve the latter half of the seasoning. We're going to go ahead and add the rest of those seasonings to this stew. We're going to go ahead and put that into the game too. Then I'm going to go ahead and add that Majji to this stew. All right. That Majji just steps everything up to a whole nother level. Then I'm just going to incorporate everything and just let the seasonings cook off into the stew for a little while, for a few minutes. Now, if you haven't noticed, I did not use my habanero pepper. If you want to use your habanero, once you start building your stew, getting your stew going, then you go ahead and drop that habanero pepper in there. Let it sizzle and fizzle off in there. All right. I decided not to go with habanero this time around. It adds great flavor though. And it also adds a little kick. So I don't want the kick today. All right. And you're basically cooking that stew, just letting it cook and simmer until it thickens, until that oil reduces out of that stew. You don't want all that oil in there. Then you just add a little water. All right. That water will give it a more stew-like consistency. All right, once you add some water to it, it's going to knock that simmer off a little bit, knock that simmer down a few notches. So you want to get it back up to a good simmer. Then you want to go ahead and add the fish that was on reserve. We're going to put that fish back into the game, baby. All right, now we're going to give everything time to fuse together and just let that fish simmer in there for a few minutes before serving. Now, here's the thing about the baked potatoes, man. Most stores now sell these baking potatoes that's wrapped in saran wrap with an easy peel package where you just microwave the potato for 6 minutes and it's done. Now, if this is an insult to some of y'all's chefhood, then by all means just make it more difficult and go ahead and just wrap some potatoes with some saran wrap and throw them in the oven or throw them in the microwave. What this does right here is just simply speeds up the baking process and gives you a nice, moist baked potato. All right. Now, here's where that salt and pepper comes into play. Just sprinkle your potato with salt and pepper. Sneeze powder is what I call pepper. Now, what I'm going to do is take my cheese and put a generous amount on top of that potato. All right, you want it nice and cheesy. And the reason I use the mac and cheese mixture is because, come on, we know how this type of cheese sets mac and cheese off. So imagine it on a potato. All right. Now, after applying the cheese, all I did was add it back to the microwave and melt the cheese on top. Then we're going to top that potato with the stew. Then we're going to double back and top that potato with the fish. Then we're going to triple back and top the stew and the fish with some more of that shredded macaroni cheese mixture. And there you have it, the African 8-0. Combination of African and potato. Get it? Got it? I know it's good. African fish stew on a baked potato. Let's go, chef.
Cooking is my specialty. Getting dirty in the kitchen like ODB. Turning these groceries into delicacy. The Carolina cook got the recipe. The Carolina cook got the recipe. The Carolina cook got the recipes. Now that's a next level baked potato right there. Thank y'all for watching.
Liketh, shareth thou the love, and subscribeth unto my channel, and smiteth
that notification button. Thank ya.
Like, comment, share the love, and subscribe to get me into the rhythm of the algorithm. And y'all just remember, in life, on the natural side, there's some things you will only get from hard work or whatever you do to get it. But on the spiritual side, it requires a little more work. You got to get rid of habits that hinder you from receiving your spiritual blessings, and right your wrongs, and get over your ways that may hold you back. A lot of people that have parted ways with me in life, I gave them the same ultimatum: choose your ways or choose me. And some people lose a lot of good people and a lot of good things because they choose their ways over a lot of things. So learn to work on those things that are spiritual, that'll move the things out of the way that block your blessings. You may have a future blessing that's coming, but you got a way you got to get rid of before you can get it, before you can unlock it. You may be with one of the best people you ever met in your life. That is a blessing to you and will be a blessing to you.
But you would choose to mess it up with your ways. You need to learn to unlock your blessings, not block your blessings.
Let's go, chef.